Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get started on episode 41 of the Case 310G Bulldozer Restoration Project. This project has been dragging on and on and on. It seems like about 1,000 years since I've turned a tap on it. Reason being, got married, got a dog, remodeled a house, and got a baby on the way. So videos will be a little sparse for old Wildcat Willie. He is a busy boy. With that said, we're going to get started on reassembly of the transmission right now. We have the transmission housing primed and ready for reassembly. We have our new gears laid out from Broken Tractor, along with the shaft for said gears. We have our direct drive down to the counter shaft gear here. We have second gear, and we have our spacer, and then we have first gear right here. We are now going to start assembling these deep inside the transmission. I will get as good a shots as possible, guys. Continuing forward, we are going to install our input shaft. In the previous video, I had this bearing already installed. That was incorrect. I had to press this back off. We are going to install all the gears. I am heating the rearmost bearing. We'll go on right about here. Heating this up in oil. Bought this little electric griddle from the local thrift shop for about $5. It's an excellent bearing heater. We're going to attempt to slide it on, and then this snap ring will set our length of our shaft. The bearing will then cool down in place. Then we will heat this bearing up and slide it on this direction. That's the game plan going forward. We'll bring you along. I have a pretty complex operation that's going to go on. I have the same size bearing here. We have to get this, while it's hot as hammered heck, dropped down in. I went the wrong way again, that's why I'm practicing. We have to get this dropped down in, push it up from the bottom into, gotta have this gear just right, into the slot. Then I have to lift this gear and this shaft over, all while this is cooling. I have to lift that up and then get my splines lined up perfectly to drop in to said bearing. That is going to be a challenge, and there is no way I'm going to be able to bring you guys along on that part of the adventure. I have my bearing heating up. We're going to do our first attempt, and we will let you know what success we have. Going to do another quick test run while the other bearing is heating up, just to kind of show you guys. I have to move the phone slightly. Again, I'm not going to be doing this with the phone in the way. We drop that in like so. Position the phone, come in from underneath, tip the bearing up like that. So we won't be touching the bearing very long because it does heat up even on these MIG welding gloves. That's the game plan. So our lower first gear is out of the way. Shaft should be semi out of the way. We're just going to attempt it. We have success. Slid right in. It is cooling. I'm not even going to try to retract it right now until it is cool, because I don't want that to change. We have victory. We are up against our snap ring. Victory on assembly. Hot dog. Here we are going to do the same thing. We have our bearing heating in the ATF. Just use this as cutting fluid, sacrificial oil around the shop. It's going to work well for our purposes. And we have definitely a retained shaft. That is freaking cool. Lord help us if we don't have that assembled correctly. But I believe we do. I checked all of my videos twice, pictures. I think we've got that. So that's sweet. This will be heated up momentarily, and we will drop it in there. We're going to drop the next bearing on. Kind of shake the oil off. This gets kind of hot. There it is. We'll let that cool. Now we are done with our input shaft till we have to install this outer race here. Outer race is a NTN 15250. You can see here, trade numbers or part numbers. Japanese bearing. These come from our friends over at Industrial Bearing Supply. We are going to gently tap this in with a punch and get it seated. Old timer on the West Coast told me to not worry about the end play on this shaft. I am going to put my best foot forward, but I am not going to get overly critical on this because of the experience that he has had. He said he was working on them since he was a young man. We have pre-lubed everything on our outer race. We're going to gently start massaging it in. Keep walking around. I have found these Tinner's hammers are the cat's meow as far as weight goes. They're very balanced. They are my favorite. Order them off Amazon. Just going slow and steady here. This has a shoulder on it, and when it gets bolted down solid, that's kind of what sets your end play here. There's not a lot of scientific stuff going on here. Obviously, we don't want it to do that. Tighten that up just a little bit more. Oh, I saw it move. Still tighten that up just a scooch. I think we can just get a tap or two out of it. Might even be a little too much there. I think we are in good shape. I think we're set. I think we're in good shape there. Here is the original input shaft cap with seal. You can see here, trying to get it to focus. This is the shoulder I was talking about that kind of sets your in play and locks that in. In the lower bearing down here, there's a shoulder that outer race goes against. And so they just rely on this aluminum cap to keep this bearing in its location. So a very simple setup there. We are not going to install this yet until we are completely done with the transmission. These caps will be the last thing that go on. We also are not going to install this, I would say, quote unquote, oil bounce back cup in the rear of the input shaft until we are totally done. No need to be trying to sneak this thing back out of there if we have a problem. So this will be installed in a future video, probably when we are going in with the diff. I am going to call this install a success. It is a thing of beauty to see gears back in the thing. That is awesome. Been a long, long time coming. I want to thank you, the viewer. If you still stuck around, I think it's been about 2 years since we worked on the transmission last. Thank you for watching and sticking with us. We are going to wrap up this episode 41, right now. Like, share, and subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next one.